These are the pieces that make up the cat heads for the anchors. These here are two separate halves that are glued together to form the cat head themselves. These are the supports for the cat heads. They do have all this stuff cut out via the CNC. And these are the supports. So basically what happens is this gets glued onto that, which forms the cat head, and this is the support. Which goes on the opposite side of the hull. Now these items, although numbered, are not documented anywhere in the kit, neither is the assembly. I'll show you where they go on the hull. I can't remember the number of these parts, but they're fairly easy to find, because by the time you get to this stage, there is little or none left of any of the forms, so it makes it obvious which pieces make up the cat head. Now they fit here and down and in and across between the triple section and this. I'll show you those fit. I'm going to fit those later. I've just taped up the hull because all this section here I'm going to use Jap Black stain to turn it black. So all these pieces, top sections as per the kit, will be black. Once that's done, I can finally add this box of other completed items into the kit. I'll show you all those later, but that's where we're at the moment. So physically we're basically completed everything. It's just a matter of assembling and gluing the final pieces into place, and then giving her a good seal slash varnish slash oil to bring up all the wood as it is. And I'll show you a completed item, and then when we've done that, we'll add all the other railings on, and we'll show you what's left in the kit, what you do get and what you don't get. As I said, this is built exactly as per what's provided, with no enhancements or modifications. There is no documentation, as I said, beyond the basic build here. You will and have to rely on pages in the Anatomy of the Ship book. Even though I'm going to finish translating Trident's documentation into English, I can't add those other pages or images, obviously due to copyright. So it will end where the book ends at the moment. Any other questions, you will need to follow the logs on Shipper Scale or work it out yourself. Cheers. So the hull's now been stained Japan Black. And this is what she looks like. Prior to anything being finalised or added. And to back her up, she looks like prior to anything else being added. And I'm now going to give this bottom coat here a nice varnish after I've added the Deadeye area, and she's ready for the rest of it. And then I can stain and oil the rest of it up the top there. Okay. The Deadeye and the dyed chains have now been assembled. They were quite simple. These guys loop around, undo the loop on the top of this, hook it through, tighten it back up again. Make sure you sand out the channels appropriately in the chainmail, and then these will push in nicely. Once they're glued in firm, you can push these into bend to shape, drill a hole, and glue to the unit. The most important bit is there are 3 evenly spaced and 2 short spaced ones. The 2 short spaced ones go to the rear of this third gun port, as per the diagrams up here, which you probably can't see, and the AATS, which is probably a better reference. Now, a few more little things to add along here, metals wise, and then we'll add all the furniture and give her an oil and should be completed. I'll get back to you when that's done. Bye. So the bowsprit consists of 2 flat pieces of wood which need to be clamped and glued together, which we've done. And when that dries, we'll fit it up in the front section of the boat here. There's a couple of holes here that have to go through, 1 peg in it and 1 above it to hold it in place. We'll work out where the pegs come from and how they work afterwards. But doing that and pegging it in here, as I said, is not in the Trident manual, it's in the AOTS. So to work out where to put that, you need to put the AOTSS. We've also just placed the centre dowel in here to work out how that goes. These guys are now dried, and we'll soon be ready to go on the next section. Cheers. Alright, so we've now added the cannonball ports along the edge on both sides, which is all stained up. Bowsprit has been cleaned up and 2 halves glued together, fitted temporarily in place to see how it fits, which it does nicely. And now going to add the cat heads. Take this guy out of the way, and then I can oil up the ship. So all the main components are physically attached, and it now needs to bring out the grain in the wood. Cheers. Now the 2 cat heads have now been installed. Once you find the parts. Now, to add the bowsprit, you need to find or make or cut yourself. I'll turn this around so we can see it from the front, hopefully. Just a little cross beam here. This was 1 by 1. Wood that I had from another kit, and there is a little square 1 by 1 hole in these units here that sit at the back of the bowsprit, and if you've got them lined up properly, it will go through. If you haven't, well, you'll need to make sure you adjust it. Now, the bowsprit itself also has a square hole, and you'll need a second one of these, which goes through that, goes through the lower section down here. Now my brace bit I've cut to the size that I wanted. It's way too long. You'll find there are two little metal sections that need to go on, one with a flat edge and one with a ring. Once this guy's locked in here, this flat one goes up against the top of the keel. The round one sits in front, so it's up like that, or like this. Anyway, that requires some adjustment to put that in place. As I said, I've made mine a short stub. I didn't want it to stick out anywhere. Being an Admiralty type model, there's no point having a long stump on it. That'll get connected up last after I, as I said previously, seal everything up. I've also started making for the anchors little pulleys. These are made by gluing 3 pieces together. Just come on sheet 31. You get 2 of these sheets in my kit for some reason, which means I can make a couple of spares. You only need 2, one for each anchor. They are supposed to have a little wheel in the middle of them. This is made up from one of the wheels of the cannons. Now, if you've used all the wheels up or broken a few, you're not going to have any left. So you're going to have to cut something to fit as a small wheel in between to allow the rope to pass through correctly. Anyway, we'll continue building that and shaping it, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. Cheers. Right, so now everything that needs to be put on the ship has been completed. Bowsprit, 2 anchors, covers and grates, 12 cannons, 2 pulleys for the anchors, yeah, that one, escaped me, rudder, and the ladders. And they will get put on this beast, which is now complete. And after an oil up, it should be done. Oh, well, apart from all the little metal hoist things that got to go on here. But yeah, all the major components have now been completed, and there's nothing left in the box except bits of wood that aren't designed to go anywhere. Z sections that were left out of the manual completely. Pardon me. Cat heads. Bowsprit assembly. Ladders. And chain rails. Otherwise, everything else was in there, except for the internals in here. So these ladders get placed in various places down these holes. So I'll line those up. Some of them are covered by gratings, which I may or may not leave off. As I said, I'm not really impressed with the gratings, but we'll see how I feel. Otherwise, the final video after this should be the completed model itself, with hopefully a close-up of everything that goes in. It's been a fun ride, it's been an interesting challenge. Yeah, would I do a plank on frame again? Probably not for a while. I've got plenty of other kits to do, including my Victory and Sopwith biplane. So we'll see. Anyway, that's it. As she's done, I after I've given it an oil up, you'll get a good look of how she all hangs together. First time I built one of these, no skill in building one of these. Learned a lot. Do I like them? I don't know. I've got my Teeny Weeny Druid to build, middle and rear assembly, and I may purchase the little Enterprise kit. It has a little fun kit to build on the side that doesn't take up any space. For now, 1.5 metres of Victory is probably going to consume all the space and lose any wife mateship that I have. I'll catch you in the boat. Cheers. So the anchor's been added, the rope's been tied with the correct hitch. The anchor itself has had this thing put in it. The cat head and the pulley system have been put in. The most difficult bit was fitting up this pulley and tying up these 4 ropes so they loop round and produce a nice neat finish. That's that guy done. Zoom in a lot so you can see what's going on here. Bowsprit's been put in place. It's been cut to the size I wanted. There is a ring with a flat section that gets glued onto the front of the keel here, and there's a loop ring that sits in there, plus an additional ring that gets glued on the front here. This is on the blueprints, however it is hard to see, but that's now been put in place. As I said, I cut it to the size that I want. The only unfortunate thing is it's birch, it's not pear, so it's a different colour. However, it doesn't really matter to me. That's now done. I'll zoom up so you can see what else has been completed. Ropes have been passed through from the anchor, down around the windlass, down through and into the storage area under here. I'll show you a top-down view of that. The cannons have been glued in place. I'll also show you a full top-down view when that's completed. I do now have to add the railing and the rear cannons, and all we've got left out of the whole kit, wood-wise now, it's basically just these little pieces. Everything else has been done, finished and used up. There's nothing left. I'll show you where these go, and then we'll do a big nice roll around of the ship to show you how it's completed. Nothing overly complex about this section, but I'll let you go shortly. Cheers. And so she's complete. Started in September, I believe, finished in mid-February. Interesting challenge. First plank on frame I've done. Quite a few challenges, but nothing that was insurmountable. Extremely enjoyable kit to do. I'll take you around the last bits and show you the final pieces. So, as I said, I put the anchors on last time. Sign isn't finished yet, she's still sitting in original base. And we'll go around and show you the extra pieces that have been added. So, Cannons have been put in place, the stanchions to hold, I don't know, safety rope, whatever you want to call it, have been put in. I'll zoom in on those. They were an interesting little challenge. They had to be cut so they fit between the railing areas. All the small guns on the far end have also been added. I'll zoom in on those. You can see what they look like. They were fairly simple. It's a ladder that comes up for the steps. Show you some of the top section. So the front cannons also been added here and here. The bowsprit's been locked into place with its 2 pins. Ropes from the anchors run along around the windlass, down the side, and they disappear into the storage. This I just put in as a temporary little unit so you can take it out and see how the masting is in, and that sits it in place. Pumps have been put in, rear hatch has been put in. Alright, so in the actual unit itself, some ladders here, which go down into the flooring. Ladders here that go down 2 layers. There's another front ladder here that goes all the way down. Now these did have hatch covers on, which hit all the ladders. I decided to leave the hatch covers off and leave them open, such as this M1 here, so you get to actually see down inside. Otherwise you don't get to see the ladders, although they're in place. You can see some of the decking in there. But if I back off, that's the top of the unit. And that's the Alert as it stands on its stand, slightly ripped down. As I said, not a bad little kit. Quite a bit of fun. Anyway, she's all done. Any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and we'll see you with some photos. I can now start my next project. Stay tuned. It won't be a ship, or it will be a ship of the air, I should say. It's a Sopwith Camel 1:16 Artisania framework, which I'm looking forward to. Said quite a bit of challenges in the kit, but a lot of fun, and everything I have shown you is in the kit. There are no enhancements. This is as the kit is provided. I haven't made any modifications. That's what you get. So she builds up to quite a nice model at a reasonable price. Anyway, enjoy building your Alert, and if you haven't finished your Alert, it's a long way to go. Frustrating little beast at sometimes, but in the end, a fun build. Cheers.